The City of Angels is black and gold. You are listening to the Heart of LAFC podcast. And now, Joseph Zacher.
Greetings, Los Angeles. Welcome to episode 436 of the Heart of LAFC podcast. I call this one off the rails for very obvious reasons, as the boys struggle with a 4-game winless streak. After dropping to Toluca, things have been a little rough, to say the least. So we're going to get that covered. We've got 2 losses that we need to talk about, the most recent ones, of course, and talk about a banger of a match this weekend against the current Supporter Shield leaders in the standings, Nashville. That's right. It doesn't get easier. And, of course, after that, Seattle. We won't preview that game. We'll leave that one for the next episode, but we'll definitely get you up to date on all things Nashville. Of course, to make that happen, we have the crew here. We have Bam. We have Tony. Araceli might be jumping on in a little bit, I think. But that's it. We're in the mix. We're making it happen. I'm going to go to you, Bam, first. How are you feeling today?
Yeah, going all right. Been a horrendous last couple of games, that's for sure. We'll definitely be getting into that. But looking at it, it's got me thinking what's going to happen with the rest of the season if we can't turn the ship around.
I agree. And I do have a funny feeling it's going to be one of these things where we get saved by the bell. In this case, saved by the World Cup break, where we're just going to be taking hits, not actually hitting the canvas. Because, yes, the bell's going to ring and let us take a long break to kind of find ourselves again. We might be in that case where we get saved by the actual World Cup. Go figure. There we are. Tony, how are you doing?
A little under the weather. It's just in a, I don't even know how to say it. It's more of like just, I guess, disappointment, anger, all that stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun times right now. That's for sure. You know, it's lovely to have a team that tries to push the boundary and to challenge themselves for every tournament you can imagine and go deep into everything. But yeah, this is probably one of the, I'd say, low points, right? At least form-wise for the side, where things are just not connecting at all. And taking on a team like St. Louis, who's been woeful all season and looking like the weaker side of the two. It's a rough go right now. That is for sure. And there's a lot of reasons why, and we're going to cover that extensively today because you know us, we never hold back when it comes to these sorts of things. We do hope also as we cover all this that you guys jump into the mix. Those who are listening late night on a Thursday night to add your 2 cents. We want to hear from you guys how you're feeling at this time, your thoughts on why we are where we are, because it's important. Again, it's Heart of LAFC. It's what we do here. So rather than running away from it, it's probably best to just run right at it. So yes, winless streak is at 4. Our last match was against St. Louis, who were coming in with only 2 wins on the darn season. Yeah. And looking at the part, of course, we don't travel all that well. We know this, but we went in there and we knew there was going to maybe be a little bit. Yes, Tony?
It's Houston first, then St. Louis.
We're going to do Houston first, then St. Louis? Okay.
Well, that was the first game after the championships. And then, yeah, I was like,
yeah, we could do that if we have to, because that one hurt more. Try to get past it, guys. All right, let's go to it. Let's talk about Houston. We're prepped for it. You know that. We're ready for it. So, yes, Houston. After the huge disappointment, after a little rough stuff, we get into Houston and go, well, it's Mother's Day. Maybe we'll get a little reprieve. Maybe the guys will step it up in honor of, their mothers. Yeah, not so much. So Houston came into this thing, 500 record pretty much, trying to find their ways too. We looked at a changed lineup, 4-2-3-1 in this case. Lloris, of course, was back in goal. Tafari, Porteous were their center backs. Valencia, Segura were their outside backs. Interesting. Delgado and Eustachio were your holding midfielders with Sonny as the playmaker. Martinez and Schaffelberg on the outside with Ordaz up top. Of course, there was a suspension to Wanga, so that kind of made sense, right? So that was our lineup. The other side of things basically was Resch and Antonio Carlos as their center backs, Bond back in goal, Andrade and Inali as their outside backs. No shock there. In the middle was Artur, McGlynn, and Samaseku. And up top was Ponce as your target man, and the outside was Bogus and Guillermo Augusto, who we said, watch out for that guy. Well, yeah, we should have watched out for that guy. So game kicks off. Interesting way of going about it. I'll throw it to you, Tony. You were at the game. I chose not to go to this game, so I got to watch it from a distance. Bam, had to do. But yeah, it didn't go so well, did it? So Tony, go for the low lights, sir.
We have one highlight, but then I guess just scores. But 25th minute, Jack McGowan assist from Lawrence. Okay, I was like, all right, that's just bad defending in general. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on, but all right. And then Augusto gets a yellow card, and then he kind of redeems himself in the 34th minute with a nice goal, honestly, in the 31st minute. And I'm just like, all right, this is how we fucking, what the fuck, this is how we're doing it. Like, I get we're tired and everything, and like Houston's not the greatest team, but again, this is just also the trend that we're having of just like we make mediocre teams look like they're top of the league, battling for first and championships. And then we finally make a substitution, because unfortunately, the worst thing that could happen, and while we're getting kicked down, Valencia gets subbed out in the 42nd minute because of an injury. Raposo comes in, and luckily in extra time, Eustáquio finds Ordaz, who puts it in the back of the net. And I was like, okay, there's still a job opportunity. Maybe this doom and gloom is not just in my head, and we're going to bounce back. And we go into the half like 2-1, down a goal, and I was like, all right, this is going okay. Like, let's just try to keep this positivity going since we're all down, especially on Mother's Day.
Not so great. I mean, first half, like he says, we get out of it down by 1. Okay. Playing particularly well? Definitely not. Lineup was as good as we could have had in the circumstances. Maybe another defensive situation there, but not surprised by the lineup. But the performance, man, talk about not figuring out transition at all. Where usually we're the guys that take advantage of it. We were getting kind of hit by our own medicine here. And we didn't look the part. That's for sure. Flat as flat can be. Bam, your thoughts on that first half?
That first half, I was glad I was at work, so I didn't get to watch it live. Caught it with the highlights, and look, their first goal wasn't a bad goal. You know, it went back post. Not much could be done about that. Their second goal came up off number 8's boot. I don't know why his foot was there. He's just doing what he does. Going in 2-1 down, I thought, yeah, maybe we can pull something from this. But we all know what happens in the second half.
Yeah, bit of a lesson, right, Tony?
Yeah. We find a familiar face. We'll start off. We find a familiar face that we know getting on the score sheet for the opposite team. Bogus ends up scoring. Shouts out to him for not celebrating in front of the 32-52. Like, he kind of put up his hands and like respected. So good for him. Like, he still has love for us. He still has love for what he did here in LA. And I'm just like, all right, we're down 2 goals. Let's see what happens. And it's like, again, it's Mother's Day. The crowd wasn't there. A lot of people were probably celebrating with their mothers. Of course, you also have the 4-0 loss against Toluca, so a lot of people aren't happy with the team. So it was kind of like trying to keep the boys just rallied, keeping everything, and then 4 minutes later, McGillen gets his second goal, gets his brace for the night, an assist by Lawrence, and it just kind of just goes downhill. There's no like flow. There's no teamwork. There's no anything. Boyd comes in. Tillman finally comes in. Charnier finally comes in. Bobasek comes in, and I'm just done with that project too. And it's just so just sad and just pathetic. It's just, again,
one-dimensional. It's one-dimensional right now.
This loss doesn't hurt as much if we win semis, and then I don't care about losses until the final. But I don't want to hear this like there's a Champions League hangover or anything, because it was a deep run, but we're not at the finals, and that's when usually people do the Champions League hangover, is when they reach the final and how gruesome it is. But I don't know.
That argument holds weight until you see what Nashville is doing. We play this weekend, right? They went as far as we did. They took the same beating that we did, and oh yeah, they're number 1 in the league and got a result on the weekend. I guess it's over for them now, right? They've moved on, but I guess we found a mistake and we're going to stick with the mistake, or we found an excuse. We're going to stick with the excuse. I get the fatigue, but nobody moving off the ball, nobody getting the job done, nobody taking it on the chin, right? Just get in there and go. And if you aren't able to run at the pace, well, then dirty the game up, right? Find a way, something, be competitive. 4-1 at home that's not competitive. That's embarrassing. That is a rough day out. So, all right, that's where we're at. Hope you bounce back from it. Yeah, hope you bounce back from it. Bam, your thoughts overall with this match?
I don't know what to say, really. This match was... I understand. This is why I don't like Sunday games. One, it means that it gets shown Monday my time, which I don't like it. And two, a lot of people have a lot of things to do on Sundays, like look after Mums and Mother's Day and all that kind of stuff. So there's that atmosphere from the ground that's not there, that we are known for. I don't blame the fans not going, because let's be honest, our mum is the most important person in our lives. You got to go celebrate them. What I do care about is the players not caring really much. They're not. I understand being tired, but if you can still walk off the pitch, you haven't worked enough. When that final whistle goes, you should be falling to the ground going, now I can have a break. This just wasn't good enough.
No. And if certain players are fatigued, then we understand if they don't play, right? Then do what you have to do, right? Rest the necessary people who are struggling. But it's kind of like him and Haw halfway in, halfway out with what they want to do or what the plans are. And it kind of looks like a game where there isn't a plan. Going through the motions, not running off the ball. That's the big thing that bothers me. You can see the frustration from the guys that are trying to put the work in out there. There's a little disconnect. Tony, you probably noticed that vibe as well, as seeing the reactions between the players and their interactions. There seems to be something going on, right?
There's something going wrong. Like after the game, like I yelled at them. Like the only ones I walked by were Raposo and Sonny, and I believe that's it. Raposo kind of responded, understanding, like, yeah, we need to do better, and he understands like this is not the caliber of team that we should be. But it's just, I don't I just hate the defense to the team, to the league, to the just the overall organization right now of like, we need to back these boys and everything. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine, but we're not a young club anymore. Like, we've had some years on it. Like, earlier I would say yes, but like a lot of people, I know there's a lot of new people to LAFC, but I know there was like, what about the all the finals run we did and we didn't get a trophy? You know what I mean? Until the US Open Cup. We were known for losing finals. And it's still on us because, again, the US Open Cup we did win. Mind you, we beat a bad SKC team to win that US Open Cup. And that was thankfully, we won that, but it's just we as an organization, we as fans, we as supporters deserve more than what is the product that's being put out right there. You know what I mean? I know also, yeah, we expect it, but it's also like I don't want to say like in Europe, because I know a lot of people be like, oh, this is not Europe, this is not MLS, like you shouldn't treat them like the Milan supporters are right now furious with AC Milan, and they're in third place. And yes, the season's almost over, but they're about to lose a Champions League. But it's like they're in third place. So if third place for them, a team historically winning championships, are not happy about it, them walking out 3-0 against Atlante, like that says something. And then we're supposed to be like, oh, let's just keep supporting the boys because they deserve it. I'm like, nah, you want to be a big boy, you want to be a big club, then act like it. Then push the players.
Accountability.
Don't be like, oh, we're a big club, but now we're a small club, because that sounds very US men's national team to me. Oh, we're finally here. We made it. We're one of the big dogs. Yeah. Oh, but we're still a small nation. We're still growing. Like, we don't have the talent. No. Pick a side, keep with that lane, and that's it. But that's just I'm gonna keep rambling.
Either you're pushing or you're not. Yeah. No, it's the accountability thing, and it's wild to me that demanding accountability is a lack of loyalty, is kind of what we're hearing here, which is not how it works, oh, you did your best, pat on the back, here's an orange wedge. Like, sorry, man, these are professional athletes. We've got expectations. The club has always sold these expectations, and when you fail at it, you have to own it. It seems pretty simple. And if the fans demand better, good. We've been conditioned to demand more. That's what we were sold on with this organization. So if criticism shows up, well, damn straight it should show up. Expectations are high because of who we are, who sold you on who we are. So to call out other supporters or other fans because they actually have criticisms, wild to me. It is. It's expected at this point. You're 4 games winless. It is quite literally off the rails right now. And other teams who are just as tired have found their feet. We'll talk about one of those teams this weekend, right? But that's where we're at. And until we do that, until we hold people accountable, this is what we want. I don't think so. I see some reactions from our faithful. I'm going to go to their reactions before we jump onto the other match. Because yes, I see you guys are on there and it's fresh. So let me see who we've got on tonight. Juan Rodriguez is on here and he says, "Hi, Tony. How's your heart feeling?"
Broken at the moment. Yeah. Hurt.
Like there it is. He also says Tillman needs to go. I think Tillman needs to play in the appropriate position that he's suited for. He needs to be used properly. I think that's the bigger thing. There are things he offers us that are good, and he works well with a lot of our players. But when you put him in a position that it's probably his weakest, this is where we go, man. Like, seriously. It's tough. It is. And I think we're putting him in an unfair spot. That's for sure. Also, Dave, 3 matches in a row with the AF. Yep. JT 805 is on, says, how's it doing tonight? Good to catch a live show. Happy you're on listening to us. That is for certain. One also says, lesson never learned and lose to STL, which is a good way to transition to the next match, right? So we'll talk about STL now. Let's go for it. So, all right, we lick our wounds. It hurts. It's bad, but we all know midweek, hey, we got St. Louis down the line. And yes, it's a road game. Those are never easy. But hey, it's St. Louis, right? We can handle those guys, right? Wrong. We head over to St. Louis, hoping that it's enough time apart from the last game. We should be able to face these guys. In this case, it looks slightly more familiar, but still the lineup's a little shifted. Lloris was in goal for this one. Long and Tafari were back at the center back roles, and I gotta be honest, dead honest, like I think our center pairings are still a little off. We're not, it's not where it needs to be yet. In this case, Raposo and Segura, we're outside backs for this game. Okay. And then Delgado, Chouanier, and Tillman were holding it down in the midfield. And in this case, Sonny was your target striker with Bouanga and Boyd in this case. Yes, Boyd, who doesn't get a whole lot of minutes, was in this match making it happen. But again, if the back line is struggling, this is your solution. So this is the lineup here. On the other side of it, St. Louis was like, okay, we're game. We're going to go 3-4-3 this time. They need goals, right? Berkey was in the net, as always, the guy that kind of keeps him in everything. Baumgartl, Polvara, and McNaughton were their center backs. Orozco and Totland were their outside wing back midfield, jack of all trades, pretty much, holding on the outside. Lowen and Edelman were holding it down in the midfield. Up top, Cordova was your target man, with Songbin and Hartl on the outsides. So, familiar lineup, not too shocked about who they were going to feature in this match. We all know they notoriously this season have just been a team that misses a lot of chances, not getting it done, and really in a rough place. But hey, you're at home. You're trying to make it happen, and you're playing an LAFC that looks like they're for the taking with another modified lineup. So before the game even kicks off, Bam, your thoughts on the lineup choices for this one?
For me, I thought why is Raposo starting as an outside back? Then again, why is he starting from the get-go? He's not a starter, plain and simple. Why is Boyd starting? He doesn't get many minutes, but you've got Martinez and Ordaz on the bench. They're young. They can run. They get the energy back a lot quicker than you or me. What the hell? Midfield, I was like, all right, I can live with the midfield. The midfield's
right,
fairly tight, but on that right-hand side, why do you have Boyd and Raposo starting?
And the other thought is you have two natural left backs and right backs that have done it pretty much their whole career, and instead you take a center back and a controlling midfielder to do your outside back roles. When you're struggling defensively, you think, well, put the guys in that could naturally do that job.
Yeah,
but that's not what we did, right?
For me, it's more. This goes to show is, did he just go for those compositions lucky dip? Oh, it's going to be Raposo. Hand in, pulls out a name. Oh, it's Boyd. Yay. I have no idea.
Yeah. Minute counts. We're doing minute counts here. Yeah. So that's the lineup. I see Araceli has jumped on. I'm going to have her pop on here. And then we're going to get into his highlights and lowlights provided by you-know-who. Welcome back, Araceli. We are getting ready to talk about the St. Louis debacle. Time for some highlights. How are you doing before we get into those, by the way?
Oh my goodness, doing well. Just been extremely busy.
Yeah. Keeping it down. I know. And then of course providing us with amazing news about LAFC 2, which we'll cover in a little bit. That's for sure. But yeah, let's get into this madness that is St. Louis, one of your least favorite teams, right, Araceli?
Yeah, St.
Yeah.
Louis. When it comes to them,
Yeah. No love lost. All right, Tony. Boys are on the field. It's time to go. We're ready, right? Not so much, right?
No, for a minute, I like made a joke because that's how much like depression I'm in, and I was under the weather, like still under the weather, to just watching the game at home. So, and I was just like, oh, first touch, oh, goal. And I was like, oh, just kidding. But then in the 4th minute, Segura loses his defender, his mark on both ends, just his assignment. And Lowen finds Thomas Totlin in that area where Segura just kind of was flailing his arms because he didn't know where anyone was. He wasn't keeping mark of what side he needed to. And we're down 1-0, and I'm just like, are you effing kidding me? Like, this is bullshit. Like, what happened to that like shut down defense that we had going in before, like everything just fell apart? Again, I understand what happened to it, the substitutions, of additions of new players, they're like, it ain't broken, but we're gonna try to fix it. So, and it was just awful football the rest of the way. It's like, again, St. Louis isn't the greatest team right now, and we're making them look like a different aspect of this team. And I'm just like, are you serious? And we go into the half 1-0, and I don't even hold on. We go 1-0 at halftime, and I'm just like, we have our best player is on the bench. Doesn't start.
Pair of them. Yeah. Couple of our best are on the bench. Yeah.
Mind you, some of them are still like tired and everything, but like the best player right now for LAFC isn't Bouanga, isn't Son. Yes, they do score, but that X factor, the one who's actually doing something that saves us for games, saves us and puts us back in, is Martinez, and he's on the bench. And I was just like, why?
Right. He's, we're limiting his minutes, so I guess. So that happens. I think it's just frustrating watching no movement off the ball. I think that bothers me more. Like, just the lack of ideas in the approach for this game. You made them look way better in that first half than us. And it just, it was hard to watch because it felt old school, man. It didn't feel like LAFC. It looked like a different team out there, ultimately. That's the performance I noticed in the first half. It just didn't feel like us and what we try to provide. Bam, your thoughts on the first half?
I want to know what the hell Raposo was doing for that goal. Just standing there next to him, just watching the ball go past him to the open attacker.
Mm-hmm.
That being said...
That was Segura. That was Raposo.
No, that was Raposo.
Yeah.
Raposo was standing back there. Look, credit to them for getting the ball past 4 of our players to the attacker, but seeing Raposo just stand there and just be a statue again makes me realize, why did he start?
Not his role, obviously.
What is Donald and grilled cheese?
Yeah, not his role by far. So second half, cool. Let's find ourselves. Let's make it happen. Tony, what happens in the second half?
Just a substitution from them. Simon Betcher comes onto the field for Ben, Son's teammate on the international level, so we get to see that. And then not until the 64th minute where Rafael Santos finds the back of the net, and we're down 2-1, and we still haven't made a substitution at all up until this point. even after that goal, like 64th minute, we're down 2-0. You're not, oh, maybe we need to, change it up, do something different. No, it wasn't until the 70th minute where Boyd finally comes out and Martinez is in the back. It finally comes in, and he actually does something which is crazy because he, like, not even 3 minutes in, Tafari makes a great open play, just finds a running Martinez and then put it in the pocket. Martinez ends up finding the ball, ends up just kind of like the chip shot kind of shot into the back of the net. And I'm just like, why wasn't he in under 4? Like,
Right.
It doesn't make sense. So it's like, and then in the 75th minute, we decide to bring in Estacio, bring in Schaffelberg, and bring in Ordaz. But you're bringing Schaffelberg as a left defensive, wing back at this point.
Wing back.
So,
Yeah.
So now we're doing 2 defenders with a person who doesn't play that position. Again, we have the people who can play that position, but you're not putting those person in. Not until the 85th minute where Ryan Hollingshead finally comes in. And I'm just like, okay, we have a defender. He plays wing back, but he actually plays a defensive way. And so now we're back to 3. And nothing goes on. Nothing goes on. There's still lack of play, lack of creativity, lack of effort, lack of just jogging the ball, of not even moving or looking for an open man. And that's the whole end of the whole game. We led up 2-1, and we're here.
We're here. Yeah. I will say, once Martinez came in and the others did come in, we did take control of the game at least. The ball was ours for the most part. And we did get some chances produced after 73 minutes. Berkey did rob us on one. Thought we had one there. But still not enough to break these guys down. You did have the ball more. That was lovely. It wasn't as bad as that first 65 minutes. But you waited a long time to try to turn it around. And I felt, you guys tell me, I felt like we just ran out of time in this game. So at least we just ran out of time. Like, you felt like it was coming, but there wasn't enough time on the clock to get the job done because you finally had the right faces and you ran out of time. I think that's simple. And so here we go again. Another one down the drain and more questions to be asked. And those questions I probably expect from Bam at this stage. So what questions should be asked, Bam?
So for me, it's second half. I'm jumping out for a minute. Their goal again was a mistake from Raposo. He again comes off his back heel towards a St. Louis player, and then he goes, "I'm gonna be a statue. Shoot around me." Like, at that stage, just put a training cone out for him. Just put out the training cone and done. That pass from Tafari to Martinez, and then the chip over was absolute brilliant. You got to give that as much love as you can, because that was the only upside for this whole game. This lineup, like, honestly, get rid of Raposo, keep Boyd on the bench, go to St. Louis and go, "Hi, St. Louis, you've got a player on your bench that you're not using. Can we have him back, please?" Because I would take him easily with him still being young, putting him in there, the tall player that can get up and score goals for us. I'll happily take him back. But for me, it was more
his brother too.
Yeah, you're sitting there and going, yes, I understand we're starting Son and Bouanga every game because it's Son and Bouanga.
Right.
Neither of them are going to be golden boots. But you got to start Martinez or Ordaz with them, plain and simple. Those two in Martinez, those two in Ordaz, just run. And then go, all right, Martinez had 45, Ordaz, you're in. Or you've done 70, Ordaz, you're in, and Ordaz, you're going to start the next game type thing. Get that going so they're syncing and getting better at each other. The pure fact that we're keeping Smolikov on the bench. Last year, he was blitzing and lighting it up. Why is he on the bench?
Dude, delivering
against-
crosses, getting assists.
Exactly. He is.
Yeah.
He's a young attacking defender, and I don't understand why he's not being used as much as he should be. Like, you look at it, and when does his... We've got him until 2028.
Yeah.
To the end of 2028. Use him. I would love to have him sold at the end of 2027 for a profit. Because going back, we have big expectations for this club for what they told us. But they also told us that we are a selling club.
Yep.
Why aren't we using players like Smolikov? He's 22. We paid bugger all for him. Yep. Why aren't we using him to get his experience a lot better and then sell him? If we're not going to use him, loan him out.
Get some return on him. Yeah. Either for us in the game or elsewhere. Yeah.
Or even just
what
put
do you
him
think
in
he did
LAFC
to get placed into this? It's driving me nuts.
I don't know either. Like, this year he's had 3 appearances.
Yeah.
That's all he's had for this year. And look at those 3 appearances he's had. What was it? All right. Miami was on the bench. Houston away on the bench. Dallas at home on the bench. It's on the bench all games. He played 76 minutes in the 2-1 loss to Portland. Not in squad for the 4-1 loss to the Quakes. On the bench for Colorado. Played 90 minutes against Minnesota. And played 1 minute against San Diego. And then he's been on the bench ever since. I don't understand why we have him if we're not going to use him. We're not even using him in LAFC 2.
No, he's just kind of rotting at this point. Not a way to develop a player, that's for sure.
Definitely not, and especially with us. This is the type of player where you go, at the moment, USL, loan him out. If you're not going to do that during the next end of the season, loan him out to a team in Australia. Many teams out here would take him on loan because I would happily take him in Melbourne. We need that good defender. And yeah, if we're not going to use him, loan him out, plain and simple.
He would start on half the teams in this league on the regular. At least half the teams. Guaranteed. He's a starter. It's interesting to me. You have an investment like him, right? 22, you say. Now we look at Segura and Raposo. Is there going to be any return on value with those guys? Realistically? Their contracts will end, and that'll be it. And we don't really see a transfer fee with those guys. We don't, but the one guy that does is Smolikov. And you don't use him. It's just not sound. It's not sound financially, not sound tactically, where you have a guy that naturally could play the role. Who are we to judge, I guess? I don't know. It's weird to me. It makes no sense at all. Anything else you want to add to this one, Tony? You're good.
Just jumping back to that. Security contract runs out end of this year.
Yeah, he's done at the end of this year. Unless he options for something low.
Raposo we got to until the end of June 2028. Again, selling now. But yeah, why? As much as I've loved Eddie Segura, he's done a lot for this club. Why are we giving him so much game time when his contract's almost up? It's not like we're going to be able to sell him.
Exactly. It's kind of nuts. I see some comments from the faithful. We'll jump on to those before we move on to some happy news from LAFC 2. Let's see. JT has a good. Well, no, I'm gonna go to Burke first. Burke says, I feel if Doso gets the boot, nothing will change if JT is still in charge. I've had this conversation with Burke before about the JT effect and how much effect him and the football side of the sport has sway over the coaching decisions. How deeply are they involved each week in, week out on who's playing, who's not playing? How much freedom does MDS have in relation to, say, JT? We had that question when Dolo was here too. So I think that's where Burke is at. Yeah, I don't know how far it goes. Who's making the decisions here? How much freedom is left to the manager? We don't know that. But we do see that when things get tough, when big matches come up, we kind of go to a default that looks like the last two coaches. It's interesting. Really is. And then Dave adding in, if MDS needs to fix this quick or it's time to get a new manager, yeah, I mean, it has to be said. It has to be said. Big games haven't been won. Now we're winless in 4. We could be winless in 6 if you look at the schedule ahead. Those aren't easy games. They're the hardest ones we've had yet ahead of us. Could this be winless in 6? It's a real question. Also, we've had conversations in the past about his hiring, and is this a stay? Is it a holdover for something? We don't know. We might be finding out the hard way right now. It's legit. JT805 says, honest question. What happened to the chemistry with Bouanga and Sonny? I think it's still there. I just, again, there's been several games now where they're not both in the lineup for significant times together because of certain suspensions and all that. But also, I think certain players' roles are changing, or maybe their physicality isn't what it used to be. You're like, what do you mean? And I would say Bouanga hasn't changed. I see no change in his game. Bouanga does what Bouanga does. But Sonny's approach has changed since coming into town. Just look at last season. How many breakaways did he have in those early stages? How many times did he outrun people? How many times did he outmuscle players to get to the results they needed to get to? And now you look at him now. And I really do believe there's a before and after picture from that match in Vancouver where we know he got hurt in the playoffs. Is there something we don't know after the offseason? Is there something that maybe there was an injury that affects the way he can play his game these days? We don't know that. But what we do know is that I don't think he outruns anyone in a sprint lately. And he did last year. Now, is he making assists? Is the skill set there? No doubt about that. Is the thinking there? No doubt about it. But there's some physicality in his game that is missing. I don't think we can deny that. Bam, am I off on this? Something looks different with him, right?
All right, 100%. Can't put our finger on exactly where it is, but he's just not how he was last year.
Like a step's missing, maybe. Yeah. Tony, thoughts?
It's just more of the same with him. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. And maybe he's just trying to do too much. There's that side of it too. I'll be your attacking midfielder. I'll be your striker. He's kind of getting pulled everywhere from what he was last year. So there is that. Araceli, your thoughts on how Sonny looked compared to last year to this year, and do you think there's a chemistry issue between him and Bouanga?
I don't think there's really that much of a chemistry issue because we had seen the chemistry and I think it is still there. But given the type of schedule LAC's had for the last couple of weeks, maybe that took not a strain, but it's not as evident as we're used to. But I do agree with you in the terms of that Sonny isn't being played as he's supposed to be. It feels like they're kind of experimenting almost with him by putting him in different positions.
Yeah, there's something different. The approach is different, that's for sure. And I don't know, Sonny, again, if he's not scoring the goals, he has definitely had the assists. Like the setup is there, the passing is there. He'd have a lot more if certain players would freaking finish. He's laid some dimes to some players that just squandered it. So that's there. But I think it's Sonny Bwanga thing, maybe less that, more the others, but something's not there. And JT 805, you're right on point, dude. We miss Palencia. We all miss Palencia. That injury is heavy because he is the minutes guy. He's the guy that's the sandpaper in our game. He provides a certain edge. We know who the enemy is when Palencia is on the field because he quickly finds them and goes at them and holds people accountable. We're missing that. I agree. Let's see. What's the point of sign? Let him run around. Let's see. Sadu says biggest problem equals identity and defensive shape. Talent is there. Team doesn't look organized. I agree. It looks off. We're seeding midfield too easily. We're getting lost in transition where it used to be an advantage. Now it's not. So I'm with you, dude. Tactics look off. Agreed. He's mentioning Son Bwanga as well. Let's see, whatever. Yeah, he's kind of saying where we're at. And yeah, 18 shots, 1 goal wasted against St. Louis. So Zadu, you're on point, dude. It looks off right now. Very off. And maybe somebody's in over his depth right now. Must be said. You want to add anything to that, Tony? You want to move on to the next step here?
Move on to the next step.
Moving on. I like it. Let's get some positivity going. We've been kind of in the doldrums. Let's get out of it. The bright, shiny moment that is, or the club that is of course, LAFC 2, who's looking the part this year. Araceli's jump in after covering a lot of crazy stuff with MLS Next, but LAFC 2 is a bright point. How are things going for LAFC 2?
Oh, things seem to be going very well for the boys. I feel like I kind of mentioned this already a few weeks back that in the very beginning, it seemed that they had some troubles gelling well together, but now it feels like they're kind of figuring it out finally. That with this past weekend's result, the Black and Gold took down Real Monarchs 3-1 for back-to-back wins. And this match was almost identical to the last match against Vancouver, where the Monarchs scored first in the 13th minute, but then LAFC 2 just came out swinging. Matt Evans, Drew Terry, Tommy Mihalik, they all scored the winning goals. Drew Terry actually just won a goal at the match week for his strike earlier today, so congrats to him. But next up is Derby Day as LAFC 2 hosts Ventura County this Saturday at 7 o'clock. And it feels like the club is going all out for this game. There's going to be a t-shirt giveaway. If you're a 3252 member, definitely check your emails because I noticed that on my end. But of course, if you're not able to make the game or if you're unable to attend, the game will be on OneFootball, MLSNextPro.com, and of course, Fox 11 Plus. But it's like I've always said for the last couple years, I know the guys definitely appreciate the support. So if you're able to make it, I highly, highly encourage you to go. Also, too, looking at Ventura, they are coming off of a 5-game losing streak. Even though they took the extra point in their last match in Portland, they haven't been looking solid this season. So who knows?
Yeah, they're off. We're on. I know it's rivalry. Things get thrown out. But there's a good chance. And go out there. It's going to be a good crowd this time, especially with the T-shirt thing going on. I will say I did see that they were telling fans that we're going to park at the Shrine Auditorium. It's probably the best location to park before you go to the game. So that's one little thing I know since there's more going. A little crowd control. Go there first. But yeah, the T-shirt looks cool from what I've seen. Can't really reveal more than that. But yeah, it's going to be fun. Go out there. There's a lot of good young players that we can really feature that maybe they should get some minutes at the top side if guys are not putting it in, at the top flight. But yeah, there's good things to do for sure. Araceli, I know who's scoring and all, who had to go to the match week, but if you were going to go out there to watch somebody, who's your featured player this week?
My featured player would have to be Tommy Mahalik, the captain. He has been just firing off on all cylinders since the beginning of the season. He's now 1 goal in 2 games. And I would need to double check his stats, but I believe he is part of the Golden Boot race right now with like 10 goals. Again, I would need to double check to confirm that, but he is our highest goal scorer at this moment.
Nice. And then Drew Terry is another one that you definitely want to check out. So, again, good young players on this side. Definitely something to get behind, that's for sure. And yeah, boys are on the road, so this will be a good chance to go enjoy the black and gold, at least the young kids. Thank you for that, Araceli. How's MLS Next looking, by the way? How are we shaping up as opposed to others that we have to face this season? Are we looking the part?
I think we're doing fairly well looking at the other teams. With Next Pro, I will say there was a bit of some surprises, like Tacoma Defiance, for example. They've been not doing well this season. Houston Dynamo has been surprising everyone with their performances lately. So it's a little like, I don't want to say upside down, but it is an interesting season from my perspective, at least. But of course, on our end, things are just only getting busier. And as you guys know, Next Pro is not taking a break for the World Cup. So there's a lot coming up. I'll just leave it at that.
That might give some of our topside boys a chance to play there to stay fresh as well, right?
It's possible. I mean, just looking at the lineups, this last match, Carter was in goal. Previous to that, it was Hassal. And even like Matt Evans and Jude Terry, which are both on first team contracts, obviously they've been doing well at LAC too. But you like to see them get more minutes on the top flight. But I mean, if it's working, I hate to be that person, but leave them there just for a little bit longer.
Let them marinate. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for that, Araceli. Again, we're looking forward to a result this weekend. Anytime you play your rivals, you want to take the game to them. So go out there, guys, support the boys. As Araceli says, there's an incentive, especially this week. So check your emails, everybody. All right, let's move on to community news. Tony, I know there's some cool stuff happening this weekend now that the boys are on the road. Some community events, correct?
Some watch parties. I know that's going to be one of the big ones. I was going to say everything that Araceli said, but it was like at the same time, it was like that's more on her end for the LAFC too. But we do have a Black Army is doing a watch party right with Empire Boys, and right before the watch party, we're doing a little softball get together. So get your gloves, get your bats, and just have some fun with that. And I've been seeing some of them. I know about some, not 100% confirmed on some other watch parties, but me or Araceli will be posting the watch parties moving forward. And of course, AIM is still doing their marathon on coming up that we posted on our socials. So still signed up, that's still available. And yeah, that's about it for community news.
Go. So yeah, a little bit of softball being played, right, sir? That's fun. That's fun. So go out there, enjoy it, guys. Again, World Cup break is coming very quickly, so we're kind of running out of games to go and do stuff together, So enjoy it while you can, because we'll have a little break there. That's for sure. All right. With that, of course, we move on to the Vinyl Club Minute. Wow, I know it's been a lot of downer stuff, but hey, I'm sure somebody's got a good idea for a song. Bam, do you have any thoughts on a song for this week?
I've got thoughts for a song just because the title is us right now. I'm going to take us back to 1975.
Oh my God.
A little bit of Rod Stewart and 3-time loser.
Oof. All right. That's a rough one. I get you. All right. Tony, you got one to add in?
3-time loser by who? Dan Seal?
Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart?
Yeah. And it's got to be THREE. You can't do the number 3. You got to type it out.
I did, and it's only giving me Dan Seal.
It's weird, man. Rod Stewart's the man, dude. Come on, if you want like classic rock and yeah.
Oh,
Check it
maybe
out.
found it, I guess. Okay. Nothing right now. Go. Whoever wants to go next can go. So I'm just because I was.
All right, I'm gonna go because it sounds good and I like the band and kind of feels like what we're dealing with right now. I'm gonna go with Highly Suspect. They have a new single out called Big Shop of Horrors. So I listen to that stuff, you know. I know. So I'll go with that one. Araceli, you got any?
I got one, Edge of 17 by Stevie Nicks. No real reason other than it's just been stuck in my head for the last couple of days.
There you go. There you go. Nobody's gonna go with a Shakira song. Okay. We'll leave that for later. I know. I don't have
That's
tickets to
next
the
week.
tournament's not real. No tickets for me, so I don't give. There you go. Yeah, next week. We'll leave it for next week when it's officially released. So there we are. All right. Let's go for it. There's a match coming up this weekend. It's kind of a big one. We were thinking when it was on the schedule earlier this year, this is going to be that big clash as we saw them breaking out early just like us. And now it's not. We're chasing and they're actually holding the Supporters Shield lead at the moment. That's right. Nashville. Nashville has played just as many games as we have. Real talk. They have. They went far as well, but fell short to Tigres and got not as embarrassed as us, 2 1-0 defeats, right, to get knocked out. But again, the mileage is the same. The mileage is the same. And they are where they are. Now, last game out, they beat New England 3-0. That was supposed to be a big featured match because New England's been stepping up this year. I happened to watch a bit of that one. Massive gaffe from the goalkeeper from New England. That was a thing, but otherwise Nashville just ran it. It was their game to win, even though they were on the road. They looked the part. They're asking, well, what's their record so far this year? Well, 8 wins, 3 ties, 1 loss on the season for MLS play. Yes, the 2 losses to Tigres, but league play, 1 loss on the season. It's pretty impressive what they're doing right now. 27 points. We're at 21 points. Looking at the rest of the record, the only 2 losses out of the last 5 were to Tigres. Otherwise, they have a tie against DC United, tie against the Union. But those were in the middle of their series, so that affected their lineups. But again, the game against the Revolution is the one you want to look at. Who stood out for them this year? Why are they so good? Well, there's Sam Surridge, 7 games, 9 goals. Then you have Madrigal, 12 games, 5 goals. Mukhtar is back in the mix. He's got 3 goals so far this year. And to me, the story has been Christian Espinosa. He's got 3 goals, 7 assists in 12 games, owning it at the right wing pretty much from the start with these guys, instantly gelling and creating a lot of problems. Another familiar face, of course, is Andy Nahar. Yeah, right? Andy Nahar. 5 assists already this year, too. They have weapons everywhere. Bam, have you watched these guys much this year? Because it's been pretty impressive.
I've been watching here and there, and they're locked down, plain and simple. They're playing amazing football. You know, even when they've got some of their better players out injured, they're still getting the results that they want. You know, Sam Surridge is out until the World Cup. Patrick Yazbak's out to the World Cup. Yet they're still getting the results. So whatever they're doing in Nashville, they're going to be a hard beat.
Yep. They also happen to knock out Club America, correct? So they kind of did stuff already. So, yeah, that's where they're at. Now, let's talk about the Revs match and how they fielded their lineup because it looked a bit traditional, to be honest. They came out with a 4-4-2. Schwake was in goal. I'll go for the name. It's tough. Woldesi and Palacios were their center backs. Baker, Whiting, and Nahar were their outsides. Corcoran and Acosta were holding it down in the midfield with Espinosa and Kasem as their outside mids. Up top was Madrigal and Hani Mukhtar. Yes, Hani Mukhtar. Subs that came in as the game went on, Daniel Lovitz came in, Charles Emile Brunet came in, Alex Mule came in, and Wubin's Passius came in later. But that was pretty much what they came out with for that match. Game before that, if you look at league play, was a 4-3-3. In that case, Mukhtar was the target man, Espinoza on the right, Qasim on the left. Again, no shock there. Acosta, Kokoran, and Mule were holding down in midfield that match. Lovitz, Mayer, Palacios, Nahar were the backs, and Schwaka was back in goal. Not a big difference in change. You can see they can switch between 4-3-3 and 4-4-2. So it could be either way, but the targets are the same. The wide play is the same. The crossing, the way they do, is the same. Espinoza is a danger, a real danger in this lineup, and it's instant payoff. Tough because we were rumored to be getting him, and we didn't. But there is that. Tony, your thoughts on Nashville so far this season?
They're doing everything that we should be doing. Again, they went up into America in high climate and got a win out there.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're still doing what honestly we should be doing, but I don't know where the disconnect is. I don't know if it's the players, the coaching, everything like that. So hops on them. But other than that, just I don't know.
Yeah, watch if you guys can. Just check out the match against New England, because they did outclass those guys, and Araceli can tell you New England is much improved this year, and they made these guys look pretty bad, right?
Oh, definitely. You do see the elevation this season.
Yeah, they're pushing. They're legit contenders. They should be legit contenders for the Supporter Shield and maybe MLS Cup. I mean, this is the level of this team. And now, in the current case that we're in, yeah, this is a tougher test than Miami, to be real. As a unit, as a side, the way they work together, this is a harder game than even Miami is. So we're in for it, that's for sure. Which brings it back to us. How are we going to approach the game? How do we deal with this? What kind of lineup are we going to show up with? Are we going to make the necessary changes, or are we going to be disappointed with what we're going to see out there? Bam, I go to you. Goal, we know it's Lloris. How are we going to line up against these guys? Is it going to be 3 center backs? Is it going to be 4 in the back with modified outsides with guys playing out of position? What are we looking at that back line for this week?
What do I want, or what will happen?
A little bit of both.
What I want is I want Segura, Tafari, Porteous as our 3 center backs. Palencia and Smolikov as the outsides. That's what I want. What will happen? Segura, Tafari, Porteous, Palencia.
Is Palencia still hurt?
Yeah, he's out until the World Cup.
That's rough.
All right. Let's go.
Is he the only one that's out, or is there anyone else that's also out?
Well, the Igor Jesus is still out. Bodie is questionable last game.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So the back line is going to be Segura, Tafari, Porteous, Long, holding his head.
Experience. Probably going to look like that. What is your midfield going to look like then? Oh, I can't hear you there.
All right. See, I did the 5 in the back. My midfield is going to be 2. I'm going to go with. It's going to be Tillman and number 8.
Okay. And up top, who are your 3 to play?
Up top, I want Bouanga, San Martinez.
Praying, hoping. Do you think you're going to see that, though?
Nope. They're going to find a way to put Shuffleberg in there somewhere. Martinez and Ordaz will end up sitting on the bench.
Yeah, make us all angry. Tony, are you in agreement with him on that lineup? Do you think that's what we're going to be dealing with, or do you think we're actually going to see what we want to see?
I agree with that lineup. Like, we're not going to see what we want to see, to be honest.
Not going to see what we want to see. Araceli, your thoughts?
No, I agree. I think that's the lineup we're gonna see, even though ideally we want other players. I definitely would like to see Hollingshead at least, given his experience with Nashville. But given that this is the quote unquote last game before break,
Well,
I feel like
Seattle, right?
right.
Yeah.
Nashville was the last, is it?
I think we're getting
No.
Seattle.
Seattle.
We get Seattle.
Okay.
We get Seattle at home, and then we're done for the season or
Okay.
the third Silver World Cup break.
Sorry, there's so much info going on. I'm but the point is I do agree with Tony and Bam that that's a lineup that we're gonna see, even if we want otherwise.
Yeah, I think in my case, I think Bam's right. It's going to be 3 center backs and then whatever the hell we throw wide. In this case, it's I know it'll be Long, Porteous, and Tafari as your center backs. I think you'll have Segura on the left. I know, and then the right probably Hollingshead this time around. I think. I mean that is natural role. Midfield is going to be number 8 and probably Chouanier, or number 8 and Tillman. And then up top, you're still going to have Sonny. You're still going to have Bouanga. I think in this case, we'll finally see Martinez back since he had limited minutes last time. I can hope and pray. Otherwise, I'm throwing rocks. If it's not, and we know how this is going to end because you cannot mess with Nashville. This could be another 4-goal drop. It's that good of a team. And I don't know where we go if it's another 4-goal drop. That's a rough look. A rough look. So I could ask, what do we have to do? But I think survival might be the story, right, Bam?
Oh, 100%. And the other thing you got to look at too is, yes, we got Nashville, then we got Seattle, then we got a break for the World Cup. What's the first? I don't want to go into the break on a losing streak for the pure fact, who's our first game after the World Cup break?
Carson.
Yeah.
Carson in July. Yep.
Carson.
July in Carson.
With the World Cup still being played, the later rounds.
So we may not have Sonny back then, anyways.
Yeah, if they make a run, we might not have him back. We still might not have him back because he's playing in a World Cup, and who knows what condition he's going to be in after that.
Mm-hmm.
And they might have a new face or two. Hell, we might have a new face or two right after the World Cup. So, or during the World Cup. I don't know. It's going to be weird, but we've got 2 brutal games coming up. I don't want to be on a 6-game winless streak. Nashville's a hard ask. You got to try to steal a point on the road. I don't think there's any more way around that. That's what we're playing for, is stealing points. I know, not the vibes we love, but that's the reality. We're playing a team that is currently superior to us in this moment today. You got to accept it. We have a weird swagger right now that doesn't make sense. At least that's what I see right now, and they need to take the humble pie, move on, and approach the game properly. Comments, I got a few from you guys, so I will throw this in the mix. David Day says Thorington, eyes on him. Well, yeah, I mean, if we go a 6-game winless before the winter break, lots of questions and maybe changes. We shall see. No one's going to be happy at that, right? I would hope not. And Zadu says, don't get me wrong, I follow Sun a long time, become LA fan if we're lucky enough to make the playoffs. This is a playoff side. This is a threatening side. They just, again, we might be saved by the World Cup because we can get this funk out of our system. Guys can train for some time. The other thing you got to know is in MLS, when teams play these busy schedules, training sessions are kind of recovery sessions and more for fitness than more than anything else. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of it. A lot of the week is lost in recovering from the game before, and you don't get a lot of chances to really work on stuff together outside of short training sessions before the next travel, right? But this long break will give some of these guys a chance to really kind of gel again and find themselves. So survive, move on, reset for the new year as we have to deal with League and League's Cup and eventually playoffs, the second season in a way. So there you go. Thank you, everyone, for the comments. Y'all rock. Thank you for that. We're, again, honored that you guys join us every week for what we do. Sometimes it's fun. Sometimes it's a little tedious, right? Especially under these circumstances. But we're here. We're making it happen late in the night for you guys as we preview each match. All right. On that note, before we close this thing out, we always give our final thoughts. That is our natural way of doing things. I think we've got some lit up ones this time around. Araceli, I'm going to start with you on your final thoughts this week. Fire away.
Final thoughts for me. I'm wishing everybody a fun and safe weekend, whether if you're going to the LAFC 2 game on Saturday or tomorrow. Well, for me, it's already Friday. Or any watch parties for Sunday. Otherwise, I mean, I kind of already said it. You know, I've just been so busy trying to keep up with Next Pro and especially the World Cup, getting all that news. A lot I still can't share just yet, but I will say that I will be in Chicago next week for a much needed break. So I'm looking forward to that, of course. But really, yeah, I mean, just great to be able to hop on tonight and join you guys for even just a little bit.
Oh, always honored. It's always fun saving us with the LAFC 2 news every week. But you live in a World Cup host city. I have a feeling some cool stuff might be coming your way. Because again, from what I've seen in Kansas City, they're celebrating it right. It doesn't seem like here in LA where it's kind of indifferent. They're really embracing it, and that's a good thing. It's got that old 94 vibe.
Absolutely. Each different little city is having like their own watch parties. They've been passing a lot of different city codes to allow them to do that. We're fully embracing it. The only annoyance, if any, is just all the construction because it feels like they waited till like literally the last second. But hey, it is what it is. So I'm just excited for it. And then of course, like our friend Ox, he will be driving into town for one of the weekends. So it'll be great to see people, you know, here in town.
Good. And of course, training camps for a lot of the teams are nearby as well, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. We got Argentina, England, Algeria, the Netherlands. It's crazy to think that England will be training just 15 minutes down the road from me. I'm still trying to process that.
Well, give Harry Kane a hug for me, okay? Do your best. I used to sneak into training camps back in the day. 94, I was pretty good at it. So, yeah, enjoy it. Have fun with it. Make the World Cup what it should be outside of the nonsensical tickets. At least the community side, have fun with it. That's for sure. All right, on to the next guy that's waiting in the wings here. I'm going to go to Tony next. Final thoughts, my friend.
And final thoughts is just keep the conversation going with people in general. Like, I know it's, as I always say, it's like a really weird world that we're living in, especially with everything going on. Just even if you don't agree to disagree to disagree is the best way to say it, but we got to keep the community the way the community is. But other than that, that's just about it for me.
Well said, sir. He's right. Look out for each other. Humanity needs to win the day. So there it is. And speaking of humanity, I know, Bam, you have an important message. Your final thoughts, sir?
Final thoughts. For those that want to get around it, some big games this weekend in the Scottish Premier League. You got Hibernian versus Motherwell kicking off. Winner of that game gets a European spot. But more importantly, at the same time, you got Celtic playing at home to Hearts of Midlothian. Winner of that wins the league. It's gone down to the final game, which is amazing. So if you are in the area, if you can watch it, highly recommend watching it. Also, to all those that are going to be lining up outside the Swatch stores this weekend for the new AP Swatch collab pocket watches, good luck to everyone trying to get one. They're not my style. I do have a massive Swatch collection with the Moon Swatch collection, so I know what it's like lining up for watches. For those that are doing it, be safe, look out for each other. With that being said, as I always say, your mental health is one of the most important things you have. If you do need help, for those in the LA area, you call the 24/7 Los Angeles County helpline on 800-854-7771, or you can text to 988 and they can get you the help that you need, because you always know it's okay to not be okay. Just reach out and get the help you need.
Well said, sir. Especially these days. A lot of people going through a little too much right now. So look out for each other. Tony said it as well. Look out for each other. Don't be afraid to communicate. Yeah, we get it. We're living it just like you guys. So, yeah, never hesitate to share it. That's for sure. I think for me and my final comments is to those traveling to Nashville, thank you for your service to the Black and Gold. I know a lot are going to Nashville this weekend. Y'all rock for doing it. Enjoy Music City to the best of your abilities. It is a fun place to go. But be careful, of course, as you go there, and remember the mission, right? Support the boys through the good times, through the bad times. Trust me, I've had teams way worse off than this that I've supported. You're doing good still. It's a short pain. I will say that. We will turn it around. That's for sure. So have faith, keep pushing for the club, keep wearing your colors, never hide them, and keep it moving forward. And of course, what do we do every week? We share that final word of the day. So, Araceli, final word.
Stay golden.
Tony?
Stay golden, Los Angeles.
Bam.
Stay golden.
And from me to all of you, stay golden, Los Angeles.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of LAFC. Make sure to leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Stitcher. Shoulder to shoulder, the Black and Gold is taking over.